Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Faizan Khan and we are learning inventory management system using Python, Tkinter and MySQL. Till now we have learnt a lot and you are very thankful to me, I know. So I'll be fixing some of the issues firstly in this and then we'll move to the other things. Okay. So firstly, what is the issue? If I'm clicking on this employees button and if I'm clicking on it again and now if I go back, you see this back button is getting disappeared. So what is happening? Whenever we are clicking any of these buttons, a frame is getting created on top of the previous frame, right? So if I'm clicking on this suppliers again, a suppliers frame is getting created on top of the previous suppliers frame. Okay, so what I want is whenever we click a button to open a frame, we should first hide the currently visible frame before showing the new one. So how we will do it, let's see. So this is our dashboard.py file and this is our employee button, right? And here we are passing this function employee form, and to this function we are passing window object, right? So what I'll do, I'm gonna create a function here, def show form. Okay, and I'll call this function from these buttons. So instead of directly calling employee form from here, I'll call show form. Okay, and to this show form I'll pass employee form like this. Okay, and when I'm calling this show form, I'm passing this employee form, so I need to receive this here. So I'll receive the employee form inside this form function, and now inside this show form I'll call this form function. Okay, because inside this form function what we have employee form, right? And to this we can pass the window object, so it will be working in the similar way only. If I run it, if I click on this employees, you see it's working in a similar way. But if I click on it again, a new frame is created on top of the previous frame, so that issue is not yet resolved, right? Here we have created this employees.py file, right? And this is our employee form, and here we are creating the employee frame. So what we will do, we will return this employee frame from here. We'll write return employee frame like this, and we are returning it, so we need to receive it in this dashboard.py file. So here we will receive it, we'll name it current frame. Okay, so when you will click on the employee button, this form function will be called. Okay, and it will return you the employee frame inside this current frame, right? And here we can check if current frame is open or not. If it is open, then we will destroy it. So we'll write current frame dot place forget like this. So I'll create this current frame variable outside of this function. Okay, and initially it will contain none, so this will hold the currently open frame. Okay, and then we have to make this variable as global current frame. So when you will click on the employees button for the first time, this show form function will be called, right? And inside this form function you will get employee form. Okay, this condition will be false because on clicking the employees button for the first time, you will not get anything inside the current frame, right? So this form function simply will be called and you will pass the window object to it, and it will give you the employee frame that will go inside this current frame. So when you are clicking on the employees button for the first time inside this current frame, you will have employee frame, right? Now when you will click on the employees button again, this show form function will be called again, and this time inside this current frame we have the employee frame, right? So this condition will become true. In that case, firstly the employee frame will be closed, and then the form function will be called again. So since we have done this code just for the employee button, so let's just test it. If I'm clicking on it, now if I click on it again, the previous frame place is removed and the new employee form is created. Okay, so now if I click on back, it will work fine. Okay, so whenever you will click on this employees, the previous frame will be deleted and the new employee form will be created. Okay, the previous employee form is getting removed and the new employee form is getting displayed here. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. The same thing we have to do for other buttons. Okay, so we will firstly go to the supplier button, and here we need to call show form, and to this we have to pass the supplier form like this. Okay, similarly for this category, here we will pass show form and to it we will pass category form, and then from this product button we'll call this show form and to it we'll pass the product form like this. Okay, and we also have to return the frames. So from this product.py, from this product form, we have to return product frame. Okay, similarly from this category.py, from the category form function, we'll return category frame. Okay, now if you run it, if I click on this products, if I click on it again, now if I click on this categories, now if I click on this back, you see we are on the home page. Okay, so basically the previous frames are getting removed and the new frames are getting created. So this issue is fixed. Now let's work on the next thing. So if you see this original project, here I have added this tags button. Okay, so we need to add this tags button, and once I'll click on it, you will see this new window. Okay, here at the top we have a label enter tax percentage, and then this is the spin box and the save button. Okay, so this tax percentage will be displayed on our billing page. So basically the admin will be able to set the tax percentage. So what I'll do, I'll remove this menu label from here, and instead of it I'll just add a tax button. So I'll go to this dashboard.py file, and here I'll search for menu. Okay, so this is our menu label. I'll just remove it. Okay, once I remove it, you see we don't have menu label now. Okay, and after the sales we need the tax button. So I'll go to the sales button. I'll just copy the sales icon and the sales button, and I'll paste after this, and I'll rename it to tax icon and tax button, and I'll download one PNG which will be tax.png. Okay, here the text will be changed to tax. So I'll go to the web browser and I'll visit flat icon website, and from here I'll search for tax. So you can download whichever image you like. I have used this one in my original project, so I'll download this one. It has to be 24px. Download it and then copy it, and then you can paste here tax.png. Okay, and now if you run it, you see we got the tax here, but because the frame height was fixed, so that's why this exit button height got decreased, right? So what I'll do, I'll just increase the frame height. So it was a left frame, right? So we'll make it 570. Yeah, now you see the button height is changed, right? What we can do is we can uh, increase the height of our window to 75. Okay, and I forgot to change the icon name. So here instead of sales icon, this will become tax icon. Okay, so this is done. Now once I click on it, I should see a new window. So I'll pass a command to it. Okay, now I'll define this at the top. Def tax window. So a window on top of our main window is known as top level, and it is created with the help of top level class. So we'll use this top level class and we'll name this window as tax root, like this. Okay, so now if I run it, once I click on it, you see a new window on top of our main window. Okay, and its title is same as of our main window, dashboard, so we can change it. So we'll write tax root dot title, and the title we can change it to tax window. After this, what we have to do, let me run the original project. So we have to add this label, enter tax percentage. Tax percentage equals to label, and this label will be inside my tax root. Okay, the text on this label will be like this. Okay, and then we can pack it. So tax percentage dot pack, so it will be packed at the top. After this we need the spin box. So a spin box is created with the help of a spin box class. This will also be inside my tax root. Okay, and I'll name it tax count, and then I'll pack it tax count dot pack. Now if I run it, so this is how it looks. I'll change the font of the label. So here I'll mention font equals to styling Arial, or you can use Times New Roman, and size will be 12. And we'll add pad y to the spec method. So pad y equals to 10, and then to spin box we need to add values. So we have to add from, so from 0, and then we have to add 2, so 2 should be 100. Okay, so because we need values from 0 to 100, that's why we are using this from and to. And then we can also set the font for it. So I'll just copy the font from here and I'll paste here. Okay, this is how it looks. Again, I'll provide pad y to the spec method like this, and I'll also set the window width and the height. So I'll write tax root dot geometry, and here we'll mention 300 width and 200 height. So the methods which were there inside the TK class, all those methods are also there inside this top level class. Okay, now if you run it, so yeah, this is how it looks, and now you can see you are able to change the values. Okay, and just below it will create a save button. So I'll just copy a button from here, like we can copy this exit button, and here we can paste it. This has to be inside our tax root. Okay, and then we don't want any image, so we'll remove the compound, and this image argument text has to be save. Okay, and the font will be 12, and I'll just change the styling to Arial like this. And we also don't need anchor and this pad x, so I'll just remove these two values. And yeah, we can also remove this fill x. So here we are getting a save button. I want it a little bit down. So to this pack method, I'll add pad y equals to 20, and instead of exit button, this will be save button. I'll change the background color of this button and the text color. So here I'll mention bg equals to, and then the text color will be white. We can also increase the width of this button. So here I'll mention width equals to 10. Yeah, like this. Now it's fine. And one more thing, if you click on this tags, and now if you click on some other button, you see we are able to move to that particular form, right? Which I don't want. I want firstly the user should close this, then only he will be able to click on any other button. So for that, what I'll do, I'll write here tags root dot grab set method. Okay, now if you'll click here, now you won't be able to click anywhere else. Even you won't be able to close this main window, or you will be able to log out. Okay, so firstly you have to close this window, then only you will be able to click anywhere else. Okay, I hope this is clear. And now what I want, When the admin will add a tax percentage here, and once he clicks on the save button, then this tax percentage should be added in a tax table. Okay, and later on we will retrieve this value on the billing page. Okay, so I'll just pass a command to the save button, save tax, and let's define it here. Okay, so inside this function I firstly have to get the value from the spin box. So I'll write here tax count dot get. Okay, so this will give us the value that the user will select or enter in the spin box. So I'll store that in this value variable. Let me print this. So if I select 7 and now if I click on save, you can see we are seeing 7. Now if I enter 15.2, click on save, you will see 15.2. Okay. So now we want to insert this value inside the database. So for that we will be creating a tax table. Okay. So we firstly need to establish the connection. So we will import here from employees, import connect database. We'll call this connect database, and this will give us the cursor and connection. Then we'll check if not cursor or not connection. So I'll return from here. Otherwise we will be creating the table. So cursor dot execute, create table tax table, and we'll also add if not exists clause, so we don't get error when we run this code for the second time. Okay, and here we'll mention the column names. So firstly it will be id, and it will be of type int, and it will be a primary key, so it will be unique. Second, it will be tax, and it will be of type decimal, and it can have up to 5-digit number and 2 decimal places. So if you'll run at this stage, a table will be created. So if I add 3 and click on save, a table is created. Let's see. Okay, we can't see it. Okay, we are getting error here, no database selected, because we also need to execute one query to select the database. So we'll use inventory system. Now if I run again, now if I click save, now if I go back to the SQL, now if I show tables again, you can see tax table is created. If I see the description of tax table, we have 2 columns, ID and tax. Okay. Now let's write the query to insert this value. So write cursor dot execute, insert into tax table. What are the columns? So first one is ID, second one is the tax, values, and ID will be 1 and tax will be percentage, and this percentage will be replaced with this value variable. So we'll get the tax from the spin box, right? So we'll insert this. So a record will be created where ID will be 1 and the value will be the value that you will select on the spin box. Okay, now if you run, so if I select 5, once I click save, now if I check the data, it says empty. Why? Okay, we also need to commit our changes. So we'll write connection dot commit. So let's add the tags. Now if you go back, select asterisk from tax table, you see we are getting ID 1 and tax 6. Okay, and now suppose user wants to change the value of the tax. Okay, so I want for this ID only the tax value should be updated. Okay, I hope you are getting my point. So what will happen if I save now? It is giving me an error that duplicate entry 1. Okay, because at ID 1 we already have one record, right? So we cannot have another record at the same ID, right? But we can update the record at the same ID, right? So what we will do, after creating the table, I'll execute a query and I'll check here, select ID from tax table where ID equals to 1. Now we'll check if ID is already present or not. If ID is not present, then we will insert, otherwise we will update. So here we'll check if cursor dot fetch 1. Okay, if this is true, it means you are getting the ID. Okay, in that case we will be updating the tags. So we'll write cursor dot execute update tax table set tax equals to percentage where ID equals to 1, and this percent s placeholder will be replaced with value variable. Okay, and if we doesn't get the ID, in that case this condition will become false and we'll move to the else part, and in the else part I will insert into tax table the ID and the tax. Okay, so now when I will add the same tax or some other tax again, and now if I click on save, so now you will not see any error. Okay, let me just change it to 3. Now if I show you, so you see the value is updated. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So after clicking the save, we will display a message box for the user. But I'm not able to use it, so I need to import it. So from Tkinter, import message box. So message box dot show info, title will be success, and the message will be tax is set to, and here we will pass the value variable, and we will have to use f string here like this. So the message will be tax is set to suppose 6, okay, and saved successfully. And let's also add a percent symbol after value. Now let's run and see. Now if I save, you see tax is set to 8% and saved successfully. So this is how you will receive the message box. And when you are receiving the message box, your window is getting hidden, right? So for that you need to pass parent here. So parent will be your tax root window. Now you will see the message box, and this window will not be hidden. Okay. And as you can see here, this total employees frame and this total products frame background color is same. So I'll change this total products frame background color to something else. So currently this is the color, and I'll change it to this one. I also need to change the total product count label BG color. So I'll copy it from here and I'll replace this. Yeah, this is done. After this, in this products page, we have to add one more label after price, which will be discount and its corresponding spin box. Okay, just like I'll show you in my original project. Okay, so this is the new feature that I have added, this discount label and the spin box. So from here the user will be able to set the discount for each of the product. Okay, and then in this table we will display the discount. Okay, and we will also calculate the discounted price. So if the price is 500, then if the discount is 10, then the discounted price will be 450. Okay, so we have to do this modification. So I'll go to this products.py file, and here after the price label and price entry, I'll create discount label and the discount spin box. Okay, so this will be discount label, text here will be discount, and brackets will mention that we need that this discount has to be in the form of percentage. After discount label, we'll be creating a spin box, discount spin box. So we'll name it discount spin box, and it will be created using the spin box class. This has to be inside the left frame only. Then here also we'll mention from, so from value will be 0 and to value will be 100. Okay, so discount has to be from 0 till 100, and then we'll mention the font for the text. So I'll copy this font. Okay, and then let me just grid it. So discount spin box dot grid. So what will be the row value and the column value? So here you see the price label is at row 4, column 0, then price entry is at row 4, column 1. So this discount label will be at row 5, column 0, and this discount spin box will be at row 5, column 1. Okay, then this quantity label row value will change to 6, and entry field will also be 6. Status label will be at row 7, status combo box will be at row 7. Okay, then the button frame will be at row 8. Okay, now let's run and see. This is how it looks, and this doesn't look nice. So what I'll do, I'll just decrease the pad y value so that everything can fit. So if you notice, we have added pad y 40, right? So wherever we have added pad y 40, so I'll just replace it with pad y 30. Yeah, this looks better. We also need to add pad y 30 from the top to this spin box and to this discount percent. Okay, so to this discount label, let's add pad y equals to 20 from the top and 0 from the bottom, like this. And similarly, we'll also have to add the same to this spin box. Actually, it has to be 30 and not 20. Yeah, now it looks fine. And let me decrease the a little width of this spin box. So here I'll mention width equals to 19. Okay, so this is done, and from here the user will be able to add the discount percentage. Okay, now if you see this tree view, here we don't have discount column or the discounted price column after this price, right? So we also need to add that. So I'll go to the tree view, and here you see we are setting the columns, basically the indexes. So after price, I'll add discount, and then discounted price, like this. Okay, and then we can add the heading using the index, I mean the column name. So after price, I'll add review dot heading, the index is discount, and the heading will be discount, and then after that it will be discounted price, and the heading will be discounted price, like this. Now if I run it, so I'm not able to see the data because there is some error, and I'm also not able to see these headings because of the error. So error says unknown option discount. So the error is because I have forgot to add the text here. So text equals to discount and the discounted price. Now if you see, we are getting the discount column and the discounted price column. Okay, and the value of quantity and status are now displaying in this discount and the discounted price. So we also have to add this discount and the discounted price columns in our database table. Okay, so where we have created our table, so I'll search for create table. So yeah, here we have created the table, and here you see we have id int auto increment, category, supplier name, price, and after price we can add a discount column. But if I'll add like this, then there will not be any change, okay, because this table is already created. So if you'll add more columns to it, you won't see those columns in the database. So what is the way? The way is to alter this table. So we have to write here cursor dot execute alter table product data, add column discount, which will be of type int, and this has to be added after the price. Okay, so we'll mention after price, and then we also have to add column discounted price. Okay, and this will be of type decimal 10,2, and this will be after discount. Okay, so this way you have to alter your table product data. And this code will be executed only when you will click the add button. So this add product function will be called and this code will be executed. Okay, so now if I run it, now if I go to this products, now once I click on this add, I'm getting error here. It says you have an error in your SQL syntax. I forgot to add comma here. So alter table product data, add column discount and after price, then we have to add comma, then add column discounted price after discount, like this. You can see data is added successfully. Okay, and let's check MySQL command line client. So here you can see we are seeing the discount and the discounted price. Okay, discount is after price and discounted price is after discount column. Okay, and we can also check the data in this table. In this last record we have added discount, right, but we are not able to see it here. We have not calculated discount price yet, but we have added discount, but we are not able to see it here. Why is that? So we have to go to this add product. So after price, we also need to insert the discount, and we also need to insert the discounted price. But before inserting, we also need to calculate it. So I'll calculate it just now. So we need to add 2% s here. Okay, and here after price, we'll be adding discount, and then we'll be adding discounted price. Okay, so we'll be getting the discount from the discount entry that we need to pass here, like this. And from where I'm calling this, I need to pass the discount entry. So I'll just go to this function call add product, and I'm calling it from add button, right? So here after price entry, we'll pass discount spin box dot get, like this. Okay, so I'll get the value from the discount spin box, and we are passing the value just like we are passing the value of other fields. Okay, and after discount, we also need to calculate the discounted price before insertion. So here we'll calculate it. I'll mention discounted price equals to price into 1 minus discount divided by 100. So this is the formula to calculate the discounted price, and we can round off this discounted price to 2 decimal places using this round function. Okay, and here we'll pass 2. Okay, so this discounted price value we are passing here. I'm getting error here. It says duplicate column name discount. So what is happening? When this add product function is getting called, it is again executing this alter table. Okay, so this time, since discount column is already there, so that's why you are getting error here. Okay, so how can we resolve this error? So alter table product data add column if not exists. So here we'll add this clause if not exists, like this. Okay, similarly we'll be adding here add column if not exists discounted price. So actually this if not exists clause doesn't work with uh, add column operation. So this is the way to add any column if you forget it, and after adding it you can simply remove this line. Okay, so simply delete it. So now since the column is already added, so you will not be getting any errors. We are getting this type error here, unsupported operand type str and int. Okay, so this error is at this position, line 179. So here you see this discount that we are getting from the spin box in the form, it is in the form of a string. Okay, we need to convert it into integer, like this. And similarly this price also, it will be converted to integer. because we are getting price from price entry, and price entry gives us the value in the form of a string. We have to convert it into integer. Actually, we can convert it into float. Float is a better data type for price. Now if we run it, hopefully this time we will not get any errors. So if you see this table, now we are seeing the price, the discount, which is 7, right? Then the discounted price. Okay, this is calculated up to 2 decimal places. Then we are seeing the quantity and status. Okay, so this is perfectly working. Now if I click on clear, you see this discount value is not reset to 0. So we'll go to the clear function. Yeah, so here in this clear fields, I have to add discount spin box, but I'm not able to use it, so we need to pass it here. Okay, discount spin box, and I'll pass it from where I'm calling this function. So I'll search for clear fields, and here we can pass the discount spin box. Okay, now we can go back to the function. If you see, we are also calling this from this delete product. Okay, so we also need to receive it here, but firstly let's just complete this thing. So discount spin box dot set, and we'll set it to 0. Okay, then we also need discount spin box in this delete, and we'll pass it here. Okay, so when this clear fields function will be called from the delete button, then this discount spin box value will go to this clear fields, and from here the value will be set to 0. Now from where we are calling this delete product, we need to pass this discount spin box. So I'll search for delete product. Okay, here we have it. So we'll be passing discount spin box to it like this. So let's see if we are able to reset the spin box or not. So once I select it, so on selecting the last row, the discount should be set in this discount spin box, right? So for this one, we have created a select function. Yeah, select data function, and to this also we'll pass the discount spin box. So I'm calling this from this treeview.bind method. So at the end, I'll pass the discount spin box like this. I'll search for it, select data. Okay, so here we get it, and this is after the price entry, right? So I'll just copy this. So this will become discount spin box dot insert method, and at the starting index we'll add content at index 5, and this will become 6 and this will become 7. Now let's see again. If I'm selecting this, you see we are getting the value, okay, but this last value which was 0 already present here, this is not getting deleted. So before inserting we also need to delete. So I'll write here spin discount spin box dot delete from start till end. Okay, so firstly the value will be deleted, the previous value, and then the new value will be updated. So now you see it's working perfectly. Okay, now if I click on clear, everything else is cleared, but this is still not cleared. Let's see why. So we are getting error here that the spin box object has no attribute set. So I'll go to the clear fields. Okay, so we don't have set method in a spin box. So how do we have to delete it? We'll use the delete method, and from the start till end we'll delete everything. Just like we use the delete method for the entry fields, in the same way we'll have to use it for the spin box. Now if I clear, you see everything is working perfectly. Okay, or instead of deleting, we can also insert at the starting index 0 value, like this. Now if I clear, 0 is there, but 7 didn't get deleted. So we'll firstly delete the values. We'll write spin box dot delete, and from start till end we'll delete, and then we will insert 0. Okay, because we want to see 0 there, because initially we are seeing 0 here, right? So now if I select it and click on clear, we'll see 0. And now let's see if we are able to update. So I'll just select it and we'll change the percentage to 10, and then we'll click on update. Here we are seeing this error. This is because if you notice, if I select this row, in quantity we are seeing the discounted price, right? So we are not seeing the right values in the right fields. So we'll go to the select function. So I'll search for select data, and here, so content at index 5 we are inserting in discount spin box. Then at index 6 we have the discounted price value, right? So we have to add here the content 7 and the content 8 value here. Okay, because at content 6 we have discounted price that we don't have to insert. Now you see the values are coming fine. Now if I update, it says data is updated, but if we check, the discount is still 7. Okay, so we need to modify some things inside update product function. Okay, so firstly after price we need discount. Okay, we also need to pass the discount spin box value from this update product function call. So I'll search for it, update product, here we have it. So after price I'll pass discount spin box dot get. Okay, so this will pass the value of the discount spin box. I'll go back. and here we need to update discount also. So discount equals to %s, and after price we'll pass the discount value that we are getting from the discount spin box. Okay, now if I try to update, now you see the discount is updated. Okay, and corresponding to this discount, the discounted price I think is not changed, right? So if I change this discount, see the discount price is not getting updated when we change the discount, right? So what we'll do, we also need to insert the discounted price. Price equals to %s, and here we'll pass our discounted price variable, and we need to calculate discounted price here. Okay, so I'll just copy the discounted price calculation from this add product. So here we have calculated it. I'll copy it, and here I'll paste. Okay, if you want you can keep the discount also to float, if you want discount in float values. Okay, I mean in decimal values, so you can keep it to float. Similarly you can modify it here, because discount can be like 7.5. Okay, now if you run it, now if I change it to 10%, you see now the discounted price is also getting calculated. Okay, the discount is changing and the discounted price is also changing. Everything else is same. Now what if I select this and click on this update? It is still showing data is updated, but no changes are here, right? So we should see no changes deducted message box. Okay, so for that I'll go to the update product function, and here we are getting the current data from the database and this new data from the entry fields, right? So I'll just print these two variables, so I'll see where is the difference. Print new data. So you see we are getting electronics, Iram Ashraf, remote, 7000, 10. Okay, so first of all, from this entry field values we are not getting the discount value, which is 10. So after price I'll mention the discount variable. Now you see this is an integer value, and here we are getting a string value, right? So we need to convert this to str. So just like we have converted this value to str, in the same way we'll do it this discount value, and this is at index 4. If you calculate it, this is at index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Okay, so I'll copy the same line, and at 4th index I'll update the value to a string. Now if I run again, now if I update, now we are seeing no changes deducted. Okay, because the values are same. But if I change this value, right, so if I'm not selecting any row and if I try to update, I'm getting some error here. It says string index out of range, and this we are getting at line 73. So if you see line 73, so we are trying to access the content value at index 0 before this line. Okay, so this line has to be before this. So I'll just cut this line from here and I'll add it just after this. Okay, so if not index, then we should see no row is selected message. Suppose this, and now if I update the discount, data is updated. Once data is updated, you see no row is selected. So now if I try to update again, it says no row is selected. And yeah, that's it for this section. We are also able to delete the record. And now let's update this date to the current date and this time to the current time. So I'll create a function at the top, def update, and here we will be using the time module. So we need to import time. So import time like this, and now time dot strf time method, and here we need to pass the format of our date and time. So firstly, let me provide the format for time. So I want the time in 12 hours format. Okay, so firstly we need to mention %i, then colon %m for minutes, and then colon %s for seconds. Okay, then we also need am and pm, so we'll mention %p for that. So this will give you the current time, and you can store that in some variable current time. Okay, and you can also print it. So print current time. Let's just call this function from here only, and let's run this. Now if I close this, you see it's 12:11:38 a.m. So this is what the current time is. Okay, in the same way we will get the date, current date. So here I'll write time dot strf time, and here we will pass the format for the date. So firstly we have to pass %d for day, then /% for month, / and then %y for year, and this will give you the current date. You can store in this current date variable, and let's print current date this time. So you see we are getting the current date here. Okay, and if you need 2024 instead of just 24, so just make it capital Y. So now you are getting complete 2024. Okay, and if you want this in some other format, like you need the month name, so you can add %b, okay, then comma, then you can get the day, and then comma, and then the year. So now if you run, so you are getting September. So this September is represented by this %b, then you are getting the day 20 and the year 2024. Okay, so if you want to display the date in this format, you can use this format. And similarly, in case of time format, if you want full weekday name, so you can add %a. Let's print this current time. So it shows Friday. Okay. You can also add date and time in this format. Okay. So here firstly you will see the time in 12 hours format, then the minutes, then the seconds, then AM or PM, then you will see this on string, and then you will see the day of the week, and this represents month name, and this is the day, and this is the year. So if you print this date time, you will see we are getting in this format. So let's use this format only. So I'll just remove the other format. Okay, so we are using this format. Now let's add this format on our subtitle label. So if you remember, we have created this subtitle label, right? And here we have added the text in this format, right? So I'll just copy this, and then here we'll remove this print statement, and we'll write subtitle label dot config, and here we will simply update the text. Okay, we'll be using a variable, so we need to add f string here. Okay, and this date and time will simply be replaced with this date underscore time variable, like this. So now if I run it, it says subtitle label is not defined. Okay, we are seeing this error because we are calling this update function from here. So if you'll call this update function from here, then this update function will not be able to access subtitle label because it is defined below, right? So we'll have to call this function from the bottom, just before the main loop. So you see we are seeing the time, okay, on Friday, September 2024. Okay, so you can shift this time a bit on the right hand side by using \t. So here you can add \t according to your requirement. Okay, you can add some more. Yeah, I think this is fine. But you see this time is not getting updated. These seconds are not changing. So what we should do, we should call this update function after every 1 second. So we need to update this subtitle label after every 1 second. So 1 second is 1000 milliseconds, right? Okay, so after every 1 second, this update function will be called, and strf time will be calculated, and the time will be displayed on this subtitle label. So now you will see after every 1 second, the time is getting updated here. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let's change these values. These are set to 0 by default, right? But we have to change it. So how these values should be changed? If I go to this employees, here you see we have 4 records, right? So we should see 4 here. Then if I go to suppliers, here you see we have 2 records, then we should see 2 records here. Similarly, if I go to categories, here we have 1 record, so we should see 1 here, and so on. Okay, so what I'll do, inside this update function only, I'll connect with the database. and then I'll check if not cursor, not connection, or not connection will return, otherwise we'll use inventory system. Okay, after this I'll execute a query to get all the records from the employee table. So I'll write here select asterisk from employee data table. Okay, and we'll fetch all the records. So I'll write here cursor dot fetch all. So we'll get all the records, and then I'll just print the length of these records. Okay, so you will see what we are getting. So if I run it, I'm getting error here. You have an error in your skill syntax. Okay, I forgot to add use here, use inventory system. Okay, now if I run it, now if I close it, you see we are getting 4. Okay, after every second we are seeing 4 here. So we need to update the total employees count variable, total employee count label, actually not variable. Okay, we need to update this. Its text is set to 0 by default. Okay, so we need to update it to the length of the records that we have uh, displayed here. Okay, so I'll write here total employee count label dot config. So config method is used to update something, and here we will update the text. So the text will be the length of records. So now if I run it, you can see we are seeing this value. Okay, similarly we'll do it for others. So firstly we'll write the query to get all the records from the supplier table. So I'll write a select asterisk from supplier data, and then we'll fetch all the records, and then we'll use total sub count label dot config, and we'll update the text to length of records, like this. Okay, if you want you can change these variables, like it can be employee records, and similarly this can be supplier records. So here you can mention sub records. Similarly here you can mention employee records. Okay, so if you run, you'll see supplier records. Now for total categories also we'll do the same thing. So I'll just copy this code and we'll paste here. So this time we'll select all the records from category data table. Okay, and this will be category records, and here this label will be total category count label. Okay, and then I'll paste again. This will become product data. This will be product records. Then this label will be changed to total product count label, and we have to pass prod records length here. Now if I run it, you can see we are seeing 3 here because we have 3 records here. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. I haven't added this sales thing here because we have not worked on the sales. Once we will work on it, then we will be adding this thing. Now suppose if I add a category here. Now if I add it, data is inserted. Okay, now if I go back, you see the categories count is changed here. Okay, so whenever you will be adding any records either in employees or suppliers or categories or products, its count will be updated here because this data is getting updated after every 1 second, right? I hope this is clear. You can reduce it to 400 milliseconds, okay, for better accurate results of these datas. Okay, so I hope you have understood everything till here. If you have any doubts, then let me know in the comment section. In the next video, we will be working on the billing page.